Welcome back. It's Rosa Hart. And no one's in this section, so I guess I put myself in the section. There, I'm in the heart. Jill. Jack is sitting in front of me, mindless racing towards Jill. Jill! Jill! All at once she seems to come alive. She gasps for air and coughs. Jack, what are you doing here? I told you to. Her voice wavers as Jill coughs down in front of her. He holds himself around her and pulls her gently to his chest. His eyes shut tightly as he buries his face into his hair. Jill chokes back as she sobs, reaching up for him tightly. I'm soon relieved, both of them alive and safe. You idiot, I told you to get her out of here. The princess gave me prompt to this order. He lifts his hand and smiles. She overtakes you, Jill. At least as far as the telecom is concerned. Jack slowly guides her to her feet. What happened? The queen disappeared and Jill suddenly stopped. She heard the same terrible ravings, like air herself in the titan. I didn't shout in darkness, and I suddenly realized what's happening. My mind panicked and able to process everything that's happening in slow motion. Mara appears behind Jill, poised to strike. I see the horror in Jill's eyes, tempted Jack. I try to cry out to warn anything, but I can barely breathe. Jack pushes Jill towards me and out of the way as he rushes to my mother. Dead. At the same time, Jack pushes forward. Mother holds out her hand. It takes only a single heartbeat for her to plunge into Jack's chest. Jack! What a loyal little pet. Giving your life for hers? Jack's face curled up in himself. Even from where I am, I can hear Mother twisting her hand inside him. And how sad. Mother wiping her blood hand out, and Jill falls to the ground. You fool. You don't even tell her that you love her? Jill runs at my mother, crying in grief and rage escape from her. Jill, no. She's too weak for her own energy. She can barely hold up her sword. I'm unable to speak or move, and Jill rushes towards her own death. But Mother swiftly steps away, her stretching hand as Jill falls to her knees. I was kind enough to kill him slowly for you, so you can say goodbyes. Mother turns to face me. The blood drips off her hands, down to her dress, where it can ooze like her black tar. Do you understand now, dearest one? This is what you have made me do. This is what I must do now to all those who have captured you. You were the one who forced my hand. Don't forget that. For a moment, the air in the tunnel disappears, and the terror slide fills in the darkness. By the time the air comes back, my mother is gone. The tunnel is empty. Liquor flicks the tension of her disappearance. The only thing I can hear, apart from the rushing of blood in my ears, is Jill sobbing. Jack, no! I make my way towards her. It's like running slowly through mucking water. Jill leans over Jack and has his head on her lap. He's still breathing. Peripheral can help him. When I crash down, I see the open wood wound Mother left behind. I fall down and raise my throat along with any of my words. Magic could not fix this. Jack, please. I crouch down my knees beside Jill. This is my fault. Don't cry. Jack. He smiles at her a gentle smile that breaks my heart. Jill shakes her head. No, Jack, you can't. Jill, I love you. His voice trails off as he closes his eyes. His breath becomes more learned, his gasp one last time before his body's still complete. Jack! Jack! I bite down my tongue and bow my head as Jill howls her lower into the sands of blood-stroking tunnels. We spend time with Jack in the tunnels. Jill shakes with silent sobs as she gasps his still body. But eventually Jill gently removes Jack from her lap as she stands up. She takes her sword as she presses her hand to his face one last time. Then she turns to walk from Jack's body with his sword clenching tight in one hand. She grabs her sword in the other hand. Thanks all that I have to keep up with her. Jill? Jill, this is all mine. Not now. Her voice is quiet and all the moan just from it. This is all my fault. Rose, Jill, Olsen. What is he doing here? Olsen comes running towards us, his eyes crave with worry. I've been waiting so long I was worried about too. He pauses, flicks his eyes to the sword in Jill's hands. Why do you have Jack's sword? Olsen's face is pale. Where is he? Gone. What? Jack is gone. Her hands tighten on the sword as she holds it. For a few moments her shoulders lunge, but then she returns to him and continue walking. Let's go. Olsen turns to me. They say it was going to be simple in and out, so I let them go alone. What happened in there? What do I say? Princess, I'm sure that's not true. I glance at Olsen as tears wall in my eyes. It was all my fault. Olsen fell silent as he studies my face, then he sighs before taking my hand. We'll sort this out at Mythos. Come on. I have a major headache now. How dare you play with my emotions? That's not fair. You don't do that to me. I am a sensitive person. Breaking me down to cry. How dare you? Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. This is fantasy. No one has really died, and that we know of. As soon as the door closed behind us, Jill claps. Jill, luckily I am close enough to catch her in one arm, and Walson is fast enough to catch her in the other. Move her to the chair. Today we managed to guide Jill to the chair. We set her down gently as we can. I watch as she unfolds on the chair, as that is when I see the dark red shows tears in her clothes. Some of her wounds are open and been bleeding. She's still bleeding. Austin puts a cloth from his back pocket and hands it to me. Clean what you can. I'll get labor if you and Rumple. He runs off and leaving me alone with Jill. It looks like she's bleeding everywhere. I steady myself and kneel by her side. Gently I reach out and beginning to wipe the worst of what I can see. Jill moans and flinches in sympathy. I am sorry. I feel a lump rise in my throat. I concerned Jack to go back there. If I hadn't, he wouldn't be. But she would be. He wouldn't have. Jill shifts slightly to put her hand on my cheek and she touches it cool and gentle. Jill? There is a soft in her gaze and a kindness in her touch of her hand. After a moment, Jill slowly nods and her eyes close on a sigh. Wait, is she okay? Jill? Jill? Paulson, she's closed her eyes. She's not speaking. Is she going to die too, is she? Not if I have anything to say about it. Excuse me, Princess. Rumple gently pushes me aside, and I let him hover over his shoulder as I couldn't suspect Jill. Well, Princess. Paulson stepped behind me and pushes gently past his hand on mine. What? Rumple needs to work his magic now. And so, why don't we get you something to drink? I'm not going to leave her. Princess, please. We should let Rumple work. I look back over my shoulder, watching how carefully Rumple attends to Jill. Okay. Often hands act as my life as he helped me into trial and error. My legs become weak with every step. Hi, stranger. To Lorian. I only realize that I'm running to her after I burrow into her. I bury my face into shore as I saw her arms come around me, holding me tight as whatever calming thing I was holed up come apart at the same. Austin, would you please get those mugs? Of course. Thorn leads me to one of the benches, one of her arms still around me so she can rub my back. Somehow this simple gesture is helping me to calm down. Rose, are you hurt? I shake my head. Thank goodness for that. I stay in her embrace until Watson returns to place something on the table. How are we doing? I pull away, rubbing my eyes. I'm okay. I'm not. I take the mug and place it in my hands. Good, now drink. I do not question and raise my mug to my mouth. Hot chocolate. Dora made this for me before. I take a deep swallow of the hot, sweet liquid. Bitter. Yes. Rose, can you tell me what happened? Marv found out us in the tunnels. Jill told Jack to get me out. My throat threads to close, but I forced the words to come out. Mother is so strong that I thought Joe might not survive, so I convinced Jack to go back. Then, when stared down at my mug, my hands terribly. It's my fault. It's all my fault. If I hadn't convinced Jack to go back, Mother wouldn't have had killed him. The silent drum is surveying. Finish your hot chocolate, Rose. I obey without a word. Everything's going to be so angry at me. It's all my fault Jack is dead. It's all my fault Joe is injured. Have you heard about your stepmother? Have you heard about your stepfamily? I know they're gone. Are they dead as well because of me? Hey, don't look at that. I know you knew that I have used a sleeping spell on Prince Rod and Prince Imps earlier. They heard about Joe and Jack. What we are going to do tonight. I don't think I would have been able to stop them from continuing along the rest of the mission otherwise. What? We got them out, Princess. Fag would have killed them if you hadn't stepped in. The Queen was already waiting at the end of the tunnel on that day for Prince and Princess escape. I must have somehow got the wind of the escape plan, which was why he had Fag tried to eliminate them there and then. And tonight more after the day. Oh, thank goodness. And we'd better worry about And we've been worried about you ever since you left. Well, ever since you stormed out of those months ago. Jordan smiled sadly, and she reached up to push my hair out of my face. None of this was your fault, Rose. If anything, it was mine and Peripheral for letting this happen. We tried to help you escape, but we could not break the shield around the palace in fear of putting everything in danger. This is why we had to wait. We never thought we'd have to worry about him being removed, and thought we would have liked to save you outside of the palace. That's right. I was out of the palace more than a couple of times, once with Bag and another with Mother. We couldn't put our lives of others in danger if Helen was right there. She would have killed the citizens. Even if I wanted to escape that day, I was with Bag. He wouldn't have let me. I grabbed my empty mug now. Princess, I understand how you feel, and I know it's difficult, but Frank, we have a bigger fish to fry. I think you realize now what happened. The person Hive is. I do. Then you should know what we have to do. I know too well what we must do. In fact, I know this was bound to happen sooner or later. I started this. I do not know if I could fix everything, and I do not know if I could save Algernon. But no matter how long it takes, I must make things right. I've finished looking up at Dolores and nod. We have to stop Mother. Oh, my brain, it hurts so much. How dare they? Because of the concern of Joe's wounds, Rumpel decided he would bring her to the nearest clinic so she could get better care for it. And decided to go with him for support, and Aubrey and her children all are to go as well. Now the only ones left here in Dread are me, Dolores, Walson, and Karma. I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't want to stay in the town, really, after all that. They may not say it, but I'm sure they are blaming for what is happening to Algie right now. I need to make things right. I close my eyes as suddenly dreams comes on me. Mother has always been the person that mattered most to me. I've never questioned or decided her before. She was so important. She was my light in the days that were offering so dark. But I have no choice. If Mother isn't stopping, who knows how many lives will be lost. The only way to stop Mother is to kill her, isn't it? I'm sorry, but this is the only way. Sorry. Yes, I know. But I do not think I could kill her myself. Zora had a knowing look in her eyes as she turned Jess Walton. We'll leave as soon as Perfield comes back for her meeting with the fairies. If you can fully use your magic, then we may actually stand a chance. Magic? What are you talking about? Mawson is just a street magician. What could he be? Don't underestimate our magic. Walson is a witch and a lot stronger than he looks. Walson's a witch. You know I have the Neverland curse. Yes. I do not know that fairy tales, but does that have to do with anything? My mother was the witch that cursed me. Your mother was the witch that cursed me. Oh. What? But Walson, if you also a witch, how can you be cursed? Your mother is the Terran Bearer, which means she has the power to punish all witches if she chooses so. As to why he was cursed, Walson explains the darkness. Her needed to be stopped. I knew I could not defend her alone, so I acted to help the fairies. I betrayed her and she punished me before she died. Walson almost sang a heavy doubt about the end of the Great War. He's the reason we have been enjoying this place for as long as we have. I never knew. Of course, you can only imagine how Hen was with Walson. Hen stole my shadow and stole it away in Neverland. Your shadow? We really need to work on your fairy tale knowing of one of these days, Princess. Peter Pan is a boy who lives in Neverland, which place where children never grow up. Walson curse means he has been frozen as a child boy ever since Ham cursed him all these years ago. He cannot grow up and he cannot use any of his magic. Walson, well, I can still do some spells, but only simple, harmless ones. For Walson to get his magic back, he needs to find Tinkerbell, which is the key to Neverland. We need to unlock his shadow. Wait, you have to find Tinkerbell. How are you going to find Tinkerbell? Who is Tinkerbell, though? But all this time you never found Tinkerbell or Neverland. I've been looking everywhere I can think of. I'm sure she cast a spell on it to make it more difficult to locate it. Even in the palace. Doors start and I felt embarrassed. Oh, of course not. Why would Walson look in the palace in the first place? I mean, eventually Kun is the queen and her number of secret chambers have things she wants to keep hidden. Looking through the palace for a small box might be difficult. Neverland is a box was left to me by my parents. It's made of gold with chains that are in pairs of wings. What? Martha jumped at my sudden reaction. Princess? That box? I've forgotten about it, but I can very remember an old box in my room that matches the decor. Martha left me a trinket box and a key that matched the description. She told me never to touch the box or let anyone see it. I've had it for years. All this time, the Tinkerbell and Neverland were with you? I never knew what was inside. I was too afraid to disobey Mother's orders. The thought of her giving you the box never crossed my mind. But now, thinking back on it, it makes sense. I wanted to ask him what he means, but he's running out of there. I will have to ask him about it later time. I can get the Neverland Tinkerbell, and I can return your magic. With Walson back to his true form, we may have a chance at this. So what do we do first? We? There is no we in this, Rose. Only us. But I said I could help. It's too dangerous, Princess, but I am the one who knows where to find the box. Then you will tell us where it is and retrieve it. And we'll retrieve it. It's simple as that. I strode at her and with my arms crossed. I refuse to stay here and be useless while everyone else puts themselves at risk at staying honestly. And is this way because I brought Mother. I must take responsibility. And I will not let anyone else die at Mother's hands. Rose, Mother is less likely to harm me. I have a better chance of getting Neverland and Tinkerbell without causing a distraction. How can you say that after what has already happened? You are not safe either, Rose. No soon has she said those words, a terrible blast echoed through the Martians. A cough spoke in. A sudden end in front of us, and I felt my body turn up when I realized who it was. Fag. Just when I thought we were safe, Fag reappeared. Oops. I almost forgot how powerful this thing could be. When Ren, that he's been a wall made a stone, steady and strong, there is now some hole. Ren breaks a stone, collapse, and a word. The aftermath. The dust rises set around Fag's feet. Beside controls and cane. Hope I not disturb anything, but all the doors were locked. Karma. Laura and I turned glance at the wall behind us, where Walson is looking. Karma is standing there injured. His forehead has a large gash. One of his arms is limp and useless. He still managed to tighten grip and hold his sword with the other hand. Where did Karma come from? I would have feared your destiny less purring when you knocked on the door. And I would appreciate it if you got out of the way when I asked politely so I wouldn't have to resort to explosion. Seems both of us are disappointed. What do you want, Fag? Don't we all know the answer to that question? Come on. Fag turns to me in accession. I thought the stone goods would be brought here. What did you just call me? Carmen lets out a harsh laugh. Has no one told you that women do not like being imprisoned against their will? Has no one told you people that it's not good to steal? I am not an item to be stolen. I ball my hand in the fist. I cannot let Fag hurt anyone here. I have no idea if this will work. But if Frisk truly is fighting, then he must hear my voice. Frisk. Fag growls, his eyes bright and angry, glare at me. You need to give up on him, Princess. I hate those pop-ups. Never. Frisk, I know you're still in there. No matter what you say will not change. Frisk is gone. Avou. He won't. And chokes on his word and doubts over. You are being very annoying. Did it work? Out of my corner eyes, I noticed Karma appeared to attack Wise Fag momentarily, but something does not feel right. Karma, stop. What? Get the prince away from me. What happened? That voice, Frisk. And in fact, that is Fag standing before me. It's most certain Frisk is looking through those eyes. Please, I don't know how long I can hold him here. You all have to get out of here while you still can. You need to keep the princess safe. Keep her away from the palace. Walson, get her out of here now. No. I dodge Walson and reach your hands, and I tip and run to Frisk. Keep her safe, princess. Now. No, don't hurt him. Carmen runs forward, his sword raised just as Walson grabs my hand and pulls me out of the way. No! Time slows as I watch Fag slowly come back to Carmen. His lips curl and swirl as he begins his cane to the floor. Dora throws her hand out and light, reaching towards Fag. Fag stumbles back. His cane never hit the floor. Fag growls as he glares up at DeLorean. Witches are so incapable. Unfortunately, Dora is not the one incapable in this room. Fag raises his can to block Carmen's next swing. Tisk! Walson grabs my hand and tugs. We have to go, princess. I glance back at Carmen and DeLorean. There must be something I can do. My eyes drift towards Fag's cane. The cane. It's the source of his magic. If I can get it away from him, then DeLorean and Carmen will stand a chance. With their head down, I run towards Fag. Princess! I rear past Karma and hit Fag square in the guts with my sword, forcing him backwards to the ground. I manage to twist the cane away from him, clutching as Fag raises and begins to run towards me. No time for games. Give it back. No. You really are nothing without that cane, aren't you? For a moment, there is this only sigh as Fag freezes. I cannot read his expression on his face. What is he thinking? Fag breaks the silence when he bursts out laughing. It sounds like he hadn't cavities. The cane is not my only weapon. I watch as Fag slip a dagger out from his sleeve. And what are you going to do with that little thing? Poke me. Who says anything about you? Oh, that's one way to get me attention. With a smirk, Fag brings the dagger to his neck. The dagger's more than enough to do damage to the princess. As favorite's knight. No! Now, this is a different, definitely cheating. This is ridiculous. You share a body, you'll end up hurting yourself as well. Fag shrugs. I cannot tell if he really unearned to pretend to be. I do whatever it takes. Fag smiles at me. It's the light in his teeth appear to glimmer and sharpen. He has fangs. Now give me back my cane and do as I told, or the boy dies. I stand still. I cannot look away from Rag's gaze, which is brought with sorrow. If Frisk dies, you die as well. Are you not afraid of death? I was never really alive to begin with. I'm just a bit of Frisk's mind-giving person. The body is not mine, so I cannot destroy it and not feel anything. It will Frisk that suffers. Princess, don't listen to him. You know it's a trap. I know Walson is telling the truth. I can see it in Fag's face. I grabbed the cane tied to me. Fag is lying to me. He will definitely suffer. But he is also serious about hurting Fag. I cannot let that happen. Now, do as you're told, little princess. Don't be stupid, Rose. You'll leave everyone here alone. Fag nods, flickering his eyes. As my princess commands. Princess, don't. I am sorry. But as soon as I start to move towards Fag, a bright light shines from behind me. The shield of light pushed forward past me, shoving Fag back and out the hole he made in the wall. I turn Mary to believe what I see. Peripheral. She comes to stand in front of me. Listen closely, we don't have much time. Purple eyes flicker on Fag, whose ship is ever so slightly rumpled. Even I can tell that he is only turned out of Carmen. Tomorrow midnight, meet us at the palace gates. Bring the Never and Tinkerbell with you. But do you understand? I fail to imagine what Peripheral could possibly be planning, but I have no time. I can read nothing in her gaze. There is nothing else for me to do but nod and understand. Yes, I understand. Peripheral smiles as she carried my cheek with a gentle hand. I have faith in you, princess. We all do. You'll be fine. Peripheral grabs my shoulder and pushes me towards Fag. He catches me in his hand and finds my shoulder as I am carried into him. Keep her safe, Frisk. Fag flinches. He is inhaled and gets ready to speak when the air around us is thin and he's all by the light. When I am able to breathe again, I open my eyes and see that I am back at the palace. Did Peripheral transfer us? I become aware that Fag is still his hands on my shoulder and I'm free of his grasp. Standing that strange that your friend would actually send you back here with me. Seems like they need you to retrieve something for them from the palace. Fag reached out, his staff just came from my hand. I'll not let you leave this palace again, princess. The palace is yours light, and it's none of the fairies that just charmed her ever. It was like a dream. I ignore Fag and walk back through the gates. I suffer the same turn inside, just trying to stop me. I slam my door back behind me and lock it. It's only been a few hours since I was here, since Jack and Jill. I close my eyes and wall the memories away. Now is not the time. Please, yes, please do not give us a flashback on that. Thank you very much. I must keep the promise to Peripheral. I ran and searched through my drawers. I could have sworn this is the last place I saw Neverland and Tinker. There it is. There's Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell and Golden Key. It's where I'm leaving. It's a place I carefully understood my lap as to keep it hidden from sight. But where's the Neverland? I nearly turned my room upside down looking for it, but I never found the golden box. It should be here. Why isn't it here? My body is heavy. After all what happened today, as soon as I find myself collapsing on my bed, it will be fine. I have until midnight tomorrow to find it. I don't looking in the morning. I bet your mother took it. My sleep is broken and done, so when dawn comes through the windows, I am already half awake. Pull myself out and I rub my eyes. I need to find Neverland. I return Tinkerbell from where I hid this key into my pocket. With it, I continue searching. Why isn't it here? It has been right here next to Tinkerbell. I will feel I would remember I would have moved it. Did I drop Neverland months ago, didn't I? I've been meaning to get it fixed, but I have always forgot. But it's not here. The meaning someone must have took it, but who? Would Mother or Mythal have took it? Where should I look? Throne room. Thankful when I got to the throne room, it was empty. But where do I even begin to look? Out of my corner, I noticed something sparkling at the throne. Oh my! Yeah! I got it right! Oh yeah, I'm smart. I rushed towards the throne room, unaware of my dust luck. Cool. The box is definitely there, sitting right in front of me. I found it. But why is it just sitting here? Something feels off. If isn't my deranged daughter. I reached out and snatched Neverland, holding it to my chest. I need to keep the Neverland Tinkerbell safe, no matter what. I'm glad to see one of my servants is capable. Still, I would wonder why Fag did not report his success in retrieving you. Fag did not tell her. I shall have a word with that current. Mother walks towards me. I was not assumed when you left the palace, Rose, but I thought that sooner or later Fail would send you here to retrieve something. You're very good girl for keeping the box safe as I told you. But I see it was a mistake to leave it here while I was attending to Mythal's reports. I clenched the Netherland tighter. This does not belong to you. Mars' voice is ice as cold when she speaks. Oh, you hurt me so much last night. I hope you're not planning on leaving me again. I know you're hurting too, dear one. I know you want to stay here with me. Mars sighs and shuddered, and I can see the mother from the memories. The one that had held me close and started to sleep me at night. If fate hadn't interrupted you, would be so much happier. Fate. Once upon a time, she was a dear friend of me. We were like sisters until she betrayed me. She is no doubt going to be a different name to hide her true nature from you. But you now know. You know she is pulling from your birthright. You were happier when you could not remember, weren't you? What? Oh, my darling. Mara reached from me, and I cannot move as she hands on my cheek. I have only been wanting to protect you, Rose. I've only ever wanted the best for you, Rose. My hand is getting through my hair. I have suffered so much that my daughter could be the crown princess. I do not want to erase your memories, but I know how much it would hurt you if you knew my true nature. And I knew how sad you would be if you knew just how much your father did not love you, either of us. And all because of his ridiculous love for that wetback Hamber. And she won her wealth. The very same palmer he married after I was gone. The woman found to marry from the start. And the king loved her for so long. Isn't that unbelievable that he would be so loyal to her ever, even after he had me? I should have made good on my threat and just killed her reckless on whether Ben did as I demanded. But he was always hated witches. This is why he is so cruel to you, why he was so cruel to both of us. Dearest one, we only have each other, so it will be. I am the one who loved you, that will never hurt you, the one who never needed love and obeyed. You know You're longer for anyone, but your memories for anyone else, they are unnecessary. Now be a good girl and listen to Mother. Yet no legs. I flinched away from her reaching hand. Mother hurt the king. She hurt so many people. She killed Jack. No. What did you say to me? I can't let her hurt anyone else. No. Mother's eyes glanced at the light beginning to control in her palms. I can only bear your gems for so long, Rose. It seems that your request is supplanting. Mother raised her hand, the light returned in her hands that I am now too familiar with. Knowing I could not run out her, I turned my back and held Neri to my chest. I must protect Neverland. I braced myself for whatever Mother must find out. I felt a hand on my back, and I am pushed away. I fall down to the ground hard. What was that? You. Did you miss me? DeLorean? How did you get in here? I had some help. Princess. Frisk? Oh my goodness, Frisk is back! Frisk runs towards me and holds his hand out to help me. Yup. Frisk? I thought I lost you. It's only a few seconds, but he pulled me close to him in a hug. I would never leave you. Frisk's arms tightened around me briefly before he released me. We both turned to Mother. You were going to hurt you, your own daughter. There is no concern of yours. And even if it was, what could you hope to achieve? You are so weaker than the wolf, so weaker than Fag. Fag's body shifts. Even now, only clenching to send shield of control. Tell me, Sir Frisk, how much longer until your company are completely erased? He was strong enough to resist Fag, so much that he was able to get me past the guards in your barrier. I think that might make Frisk pretty strong. I do not regard giving the traitor permission to speak. Do not think I will forgive you betraying me, DeLorean. I haven't forgot anything either, Herbert. Lauren was only a child. Her faith was in your doing. Who you talking about? Lauren was my daughter. Ooh. I never heard DeLorean speak of a child. I always opted her in action. I disagreed with her creatures of fairy tale curses for the beginning. But when I voiced my opinion out loud, she targeted my daughter. She killed her in front of me. Oh my goodness! You're a horrible person. I don't like you as a mother. You're not my mother anymore. I want DeLorean as my mother now. Suddenly everything in the room was still. The two women glare at each other, but neither of them move. You were not there when our kind were being hunted and slaughtered like animals in their own homes. I am the Terror. It felt each of our deaths like they were my own. Rumple, Britain was necessary, but you've been so loyal and so good. It took a little Lauren's death for you to turn to anger Arkberg to think my arrangement. Yeah. I would have not killed her if you were so blind. She was only 10. You're horrible! You're like the worst mother in history. Oh, let me kill this 10-year-old kid because this woman disagrees with me. It's for the better good of our kind. Ouch! You're like the worst. And she suffered for your weakness. I don't like Mother anymore. Dora holds out her arms and swept in across the room. Light traveled up her arms. Frisk tugged me around the curtain, then pressed my back into the curtain pillar. He holds me against it as a shield. Don't move. The room shakes as Lauren reads her spell. You think you can defeat me when you haven't been training? How foolish. Please, I have no intention of defeating you. Frisk? Cover your ears, princess. To question him, I obey. I hear the sound of light cracking in the air, opened by explosions. Then crash down into the other side of the room. Time to go. His hands tighten around mine. We run out of the throne room with Dolores' mother shedding sound through the room behind us. Are you okay? No. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm so glad you're here. See, what did I tell you? What are you talking about? Your knight here was scared that you wouldn't want to see him anymore after what happened yesterday. Frisk's fingers tightened over my own. If only I was strong enough to fight Fag, I could have. It wasn't your fault, Frisk. But what matters is that you're here now. Frisk looks at me and smiles. How did you know where I would be? Intuition and magic. Well, yes, and magic. Guilty. Do you have Tinkerbell? I hold the never run in one hand as I reach with the other to search for the key in my pocket. Thankful my fingers still brush against the cool metal. It's in my pocket. Good, very good. Whatever happens, you mustn't get Neverland and Tinkerbell to Mythal, okay? I nod my head. That's a good girl. Griff said to be here at midnight. What time is it? We too early. Sometimes Griff feels early too. Looks like tonight is not one of those nights though. It looks like my coming early was both a blessing and a setback. She is using the name Peripheral. How sweet. Frisk steps in front of me as Mother plays in front of us. Stay behind me. Frisk, I would never forgive myself if you got hurt. Please, stay behind me. Frisk smiles gently at me, and my chest aches at the sight. Everything will be alright, I promise. I promise to protect you. And I promise to come back another day. Peace.